This wasn't just a cancellation, this was an execution in silence. Because while the internet was distracted by headlines and fake outrage, Netflix quietly pulled the plug, and Meghan Markle didn't see it coming.
Halfway through Spare, he knew as he stood with his family what he was going to say.
It's sold out. You know, this is
worth it.
Like Meghan Markle, because she made it pretty clear to all her friends, the people who work for her, not to talk to me. So it was quite an uphill trample them, or they tried to ignore them, and how they get ahead and stay on top. And that's what makes Meghan like.
Tom Bower dropped the sentence that detonated everything. No PR spin, no polite phrasing, just raw, surgical honesty. He said Meghan Markle has no talent, not misunderstood, not mistreated, not sabotaged. Just empty. And the moment those words landed, something else happened behind the scenes. Netflix stopped returning calls. This wasn't about ratings. It wasn't about timing. It wasn't about creative differences. It was about realization. The kind that hits executives 6 months into a $100 million deal and makes them sit in boardrooms staring at spreadsheets, wondering how they got played. Because 6 months was all it took.
Recorded sweet life, running around and doing the things that I think everyone maybe is part of your day-to-day, but if you don't think...
Tom Bower isn't guessing. This isn't vibes. This man talked to over 80 people who worked with her, knew her, managed her, tolerated her. 80. He didn't skim headlines, he excavated. He wrote Revenge knowing full well the publishing world was terrified. Not of lawsuits, not of backlash, but of one thing, the race card. And here's what shook them. Race wasn't the story. Control was. Behind closed doors, Meghan wasn't the victim she sold to the world. She was the director, the editor, the puppet master, always performing, always shaping perception, always calculating the angle. And once Netflix realized they hadn't bought a storyteller, they'd bought a mirror, it was already too late. 6 months. That's how long it took Netflix to realize the deal was dead on arrival. Think about that. This is the company that greenlights chaos for a living. They don't panic easily.
I would say Meghan, but it feels very Harry. He basically has just come out and had this rage.
But with Meghan, the data screamed. People weren't watching, not because they hated her, but because they didn't care. She had the name. She had the access. She had the budget. What she didn't have was substance. Viewers clicked once. Curiosity. They didn't come back. Boredom. And boredom is fatal. This wasn't a content issue, it was a vacuum. The plan was delusionally ambitious. Meghan Markle, the next Martha Stewart, lifestyle queen, domestic icon, the woman you trust with your kitchen, your home, your weekends. Netflix handed her producers creative control, resources people would kill for, and she gave them flower arranging, pretzels in bags, aesthetic emptiness. Tom Bower saw it instantly. He said Meghan has never been authentic. She doesn't exist without a role. And modern audiences can smell performance from a mile away, especially when there's nothing underneath it.
Unless he's holding something real, sharp, and dangerous. When Tom Bower talks, people stop breathing for a moment, because whatever he says...
No originality, no depth, no story. Just a polished surface begging to be admired. And the numbers? They were humiliating. Her flagship show ranked 1,217th on Netflix. That's not low, that's invisible. 2 million views in 4 months. Random YouTubers beat that in weeks. Her best episode couldn't even crack the top 1,000. This wasn't underperformance. This was rejection. And the cruelest part? She thought it was winning awards. She genuinely believed she was reinventing herself while the audience quietly walked away. Behind the scenes, Netflix executives were stunned, not angry, stunned. They expected mediocrity. They got nothing. They wanted insider power, Diana-level revelations, emotional gravity. Instead, they got staged warmth inside a rented mansion with rented beehives and rented intimacy. And while Meghan filmed scenes about love, family, and values, her father lost his leg. No visit, no call, just silence. The hypocrisy didn't scream, it leaked, slowly, visibly. Viewers felt it before they articulated it. Something was off. Something felt rehearsed. Too clean, too posed. People who worked on the show told Bower the truth. The scenes were reshot endlessly, not for quality, not for storytelling, but for appearance. Hair had to be perfect. Lighting had to flatter. Every frame controlled. Authentic cooks tie their hair back. Performers adjust the camera. She wasn't making a show. She was curating an image. And the audience rejected it. Not with outrage, with indifference. That's when things truly collapsed. Because hate still means attention. Indifference means death. Comment sections stopped raging. They started shrugging. Finally, good. About time. No petitions, no outrage, no movement, just relief. Tom Bauer predicted this years ago. He said the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. And that's exactly where Meghan landed. The victim narrative expired, the sympathy dried up, the headlines scrolled by untouched. And here's the part no one wanted to admit. America didn't turn on her. America got tired. Tired of complaints without creation. Tired of pain without progress. Tired of watching opportunity after opportunity evaporate into nothing. They came to Hollywood believing freedom would multiply relevance. That victimhood would sustain attention forever. That fame alone was enough. It wasn't. And while the public moved on, panic quietly set in. Money burned, deals ghosted, doors closed, old PR firms rehired, desperate product launches, forced social climbing. Every move screaming the same thing without saying it out loud, this isn't going according to plan. And Netflix? Netflix didn't announce anything. They didn't have to. They just stopped calling, stopped renewing, stopped believing. Because once a platform realizes you can't deliver substance, it doesn't argue, it withdraws. Silently, coldly, and permanently. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where it all starts to get downright ugly. Meghan Markle, once the face of an international fairy tale, is now scrambling in ways she never expected. The downfall is not only public, it's personal. Desperate. The cracks in the facade are no longer hidden. What happens when the money starts to run out, the projects tank, and the doors you once walked through effortlessly slam shut? What happens when your entire identity, your entire brand, is built on the idea that you're relevant, but no one cares anymore? Panic. That's the only word to describe what's happening right now. It's been slow, but it's happening. And here's the thing about panic. It's always transparent. You can't fake it. You can't hide the desperation. And Meghan? She's doing everything she can to maintain a sense of control that's slipping away like sand through her fingers. First, the PR firm, Sunshine Sachs. She called them back, the same team that had helped her craft that royal escape narrative. Think about it. If things were really going as planned, if her brand was still booming, why would she go crawling back to the same old PR firm that helped her milk her victim story for years? It's the ultimate sign of someone at rock bottom. When you're at the top, you don't need to beg for attention, it comes naturally. But when everything starts to fall apart, when your name doesn't carry weight anymore, you call your old team and hope for a miracle. But miracles? They don't happen when the magic has already faded. What Meghan doesn't realize is that no matter how hard she tries, no matter how many times she reshuffles the deck, the image is broken. She's attempting to force her way back into social circles that have moved on. We've all seen it, the cringe-worthy attempts to befriend Jennifer Aniston through her boyfriend. Can you imagine that? You're that desperate for connections? You're reduced to trying to get close to someone's partner because actual friendships are out of reach? It's the textbook definition of social climbing, and let's be clear, everyone can see it. Meghan Markle is trying to re-enter circles that no longer want her. It's not organic. It's not real, it's forced, and it's painfully obvious. When you're struggling to maintain relevance, you begin to see patterns in everything you do. Every relationship becomes transactional, every friendship a stepping stone, and every failed connection adds weight to the growing narrative that you've lost your edge. And let's not even talk about the products. The bookmarks. Yes, bookmarks. One of the random last-ditch attempts to keep the brand alive. Bookmarks with the caption, "Fell asleep here." Who is that even for? Who's buying that? What kind of last-minute desperation project is that? It screams creative bankruptcy. This is not entrepreneurship. This is panic disguised as products. It's embarrassing. And yet, Meghan pushes forward, launch after launch, each one falling flat. But let's talk about what happens when the financial situation catches up to reality. Meghan's Netflix deal was supposed to be her golden ticket, financial security, the fame train rolling in perpetuity. But that train derailed fast. Industry insiders are whispering about the real numbers. $38 million, gone. Just like that, down the drain, spent on shows nobody watched, podcasts nobody listened to, projects that were dead on arrival. What Meghan doesn't understand is that this isn't bad luck. It's a pattern of failure. Each project is just another attempt at rebranding her, only to see it burn before it even has a chance to take off. And now, those 38 million? Poof. They've evaporated. That number is important. It's not just a budget, it's a signal. It says a lot about how much money Meghan and Harry have burned through without producing anything of value. And guess who's left holding the bag? The brand. The image, the illusion, they're living a lifestyle they can't afford. Think about it, a multi-million-dollar mansion in Montecito, security costs, and a level of luxury that can't be downsized without admitting defeat. Moving out of the mansion, that would be a public acknowledgement of failure, and that's the one thing Meghan cannot afford to do. She can't go back. She can't shrink. She can't become normal. The whole brand depends on appearing larger than life. But here's the problem. The cash flow has slowed to a trickle. The Netflix deal, the one that was supposed to sustain her, is dying. Gone. Quietly, slowly, but definitely. Netflix won't make a dramatic exit. They won't make a public spectacle. No, they'll simply fade out. No renewals. No new projects. The silence will be deafening, and Meghan will be left grasping at whatever remains of her image. The real kicker? The Archwell Foundation. Everyone thinks it's a charity, but here's the truth. It's a business, a commercial entity that's not giving away nearly as much as it should. Very little of what they do goes to charitable causes. The rest? Branding, marketing, and pushing Meghan's name. Another failed business venture in a long string of disappointments. So where does that leave Meghan? The glittery world she thought she'd created is crumbling. The projects that were supposed to elevate her, from podcasts to TV shows to charity work, are all collapsing into dust. No show to carry her legacy forward, no lucrative partnerships. The money's drying up and no one's coming to save her, and that's where the panic really sets in. The question is no longer can she recover, it's will she ever truly come back from this? The answer? No, the public isn't even mad anymore. They're indifferent. The fascination is gone. The victim card has been overplayed. Meghan Markle's Hollywood dream is officially over. The saddest part? It didn't have to be this way. But here's the final blow. Meghan had everything handed to her. A royal title, the world's attention, unlimited resources, and she squandered it all. She could have built something real, a brand, a career, a legacy, but she didn't. And now, here we are, watching as everything she built crumbles to dust. Crumbles to dust. Crumbles to dust. Crumbles.